afternoon, everyone. Today I'm presenting my PowerPoint presentation on the chapter The Portrait of a Lady. Let's start. The Portrait of a Lady is the author of the chapter is Khushwant Singh. Let us know about some points. Khushwant Singh was born as Khushal Singh on 2nd February 1950. He's an Indian novelist, lawyer, journalist, and raised in Hadari, Punjab, which is now in Pakistan. So after working as a lawyer in Lahore court for 8 years, he joined the Indian Foreign Service upon the independence of India from British Empire. And then he moved to the Department of Mass Communications of UNESCO at Paris in 1956. He's a very well-known author, and now let us read about a very interesting story written by him. The theme of the chapter. In The Portrait of the Lady by Khushwant Singh, we have the theme of innocence, friendship, love, connection, kindness, selflessness, respect, and acceptance, narrated in the first person by an unnamed narrator. The story is a memory piece, and after reading the story, the reader realizes that Singh may be exploring the theme of the innocence. The narrator finds it hard to imagine that his grandmother may have once been young and pretty. Instead, the narrator views his grandmother as always being old. This may be as important as it suggests that the narrator looked upon his grandmother with his eyes of an innocent child, which he was. He does not see it possible that his grandmother could have been a different person as all as he known is for his grandmother to be old. It is also noticeable that the narrator loves his grandmother very much, and if anything, both have a close and loving friendship. These are some qualities about narrator's grandmother. She was affectionate and caring, responsible. She was a good storyteller and religious person. Let's know more about her. So grandmother was active and agile. She was ready for every work. She was a true custodian, a very caring grandmother for her grandchild. She was devout. She was religious and devout and believed in God. And she was an epitome of peace, serenity, and contentment. She was orthodox and believed that religious teachings are very important for a student rather than music lessons. So this story is about the link of friendship between the grandmother and author. Before, when they were in village, the grandmother used to go with him in school, and they have a common room. But when they were shifted to city, the common link of friendship snapped. When Arthur went to university, then he was given room of his own. The grandmother accepted her loneliness and rarely spoke to anyone. All day long, she sat spinning the wheel and reciting the prayers. Only in afternoon, she relaxed for a while to feed sparrows. The grandmother combats her loneliness by feeding the sparrows. When Arthur went to university, she felt loneliness. She was trapped in the web of isolation all day long. Just she spent by feeding the sparrows. That was the best time of her day. And when Arthur left for higher studies in other country, she was really disappointed. But she didn't show her disappointment because she was not even sentimental. But when there was Arthur's homecoming, when he returned to home, a change came in her. It was for the first time that she didn't recite prayers and collected the women of neighborhood and said warriors homecoming. This is a short web chart about the whole story. Like the grandmother couldn't walk straight; she was fat and slightly bent. Her lips always recited prayers, and she had a wrinkled face. So there are three phases of friendship. Then first they were in close friends in village, and when the author went to city, and then when the author went to university and for higher studies. When they were close friends in village, they played in shoulders and. Grandmother waked the author in morning, made him ready for school, and went to school with her. When in the phase two, when author went to city, and narrator started going to English school, both shared same room, but the grandmother, although they shared same room, but that the link was little snapped, and the bond of friendship was snapped when the author went to university and the narrator and grandmother was given a room of her own. Grandmother accepts her loneliness quietly, and when narrator goes abroad for higher studies, she kissed his forehead silently and went. But that the main climax of the story was her end when in the last she stops reciting prayers and she when narrator she collected all women and sang songs of homecoming warriors and when and she got ill, but that was a mild fever. Doctor said that it would go away, but she said that her end was near. And although the author and other people tried to protest, but she didn't. But she said that her end was near and she was going to die, and that happened. In the end, she died. But the main thing was the story that the sparrows she used to feed. The sparrows she used to feed were they scattered all around and without making any chirrupings, they sat near the dead body all over the veranda. They spread uh, and they pray for grandmother. And although the author's mother gave them crumbs of bread, but they didn't accept it. And the next day, the crumbs were thrown to dustbin. So this shows the bond between sparrows and grandmother, and how grandmother used to feed sparrows, and then after her death, the sparrows also pray for them. So these are some of the questions. The first question is: the grandmother has been portrayed as a very religious lady. What details in the story create this impression? The author recalls his grandmother as a very religious woman. He remembers her hopping about the house, telling the beats of a rosary. He recalls her morning prayers and her reading scriptures inside the temple. The author recounts how during the last few days she spent all her time praying. So, author's grandmother was a very religious and devout lady. That was the turning point in our friendship. What was the turning point? Basically, the turning point arrived when author and his grandmother were shifted to city. Although they shared the same room, but that friendship was snapped, and it the grandmother was trapped in isolation when author was sent to was when author went to university and then in the foreign for higher studies. Third question is: what was the last sign of physical contact between the author and the grandmother? Why did the author think that to be the last physical contact? The author was going abroad for 5 years. His grandmother kissed his forehead. He presumed that as the last sign of physical contact between them. He feared that she would not survive any return since he was going for 5 years. Fourth question is: how does the author react to the idea of the grandmother being young at a point of time and playing games? The author could not conceive his grandmother as young and pretty because for the all 20 years he had seen him, she was old and wrinkled. But when she said that she used to play as a pretty girl, it was difficult for the author to believe it. Fifth question is: why was the grandmother distressed by the education imparted in the city school? Grandmother believed that schools should also teach students about the religion and God. But when in the city school, she noticed that author was not given any religious teachings. He was only given music lessons, and according to grandmother, the music lessons were the monopoly of harlots and beggars and not of gentlemen. Next question is: what was the author's grandmother? Why was author's grandmother upset as soon as the author started going to a school in the city? So the answer is same, that because the city education did not have any religious teachings. And explain 3 ways in which the author's grandmother spent her days after the author grew up. When the author grew up, when they lived in village, she used to live happily with author and go to school with him. But when they were shifted to city, she accepted her loneliness quietly and without any complaints. She used to recite prayers while sitting on a spinning wheel so that she can spend her time and don't feel bad for her loneliness. For half an hour, she used to feed the sparrows in the afternoon and trying to engage in some else activity. Everyone, including the sparrows, mourned the grandmother's death. When the grandmother died, thousands of sparrows collected and sat in the courtyard all over the veranda, and where she was laid dead, there was no chirping. When the author's mother threw some breadcrumbs for them, they took no notice of the breadcrumbs. They were full of grief at her death and flew away quietly after the cremation. Elaborate on the beautiful bond of love and friendship between the author and his grandmother. When the author was young and parents left for the city, leaving him to the care of his grandmother, they were good friends. She woke up each morning, bathed him, dressed him, and make him ready for school, then went to school with him and and recite prayers in the showers. But when they were settled in city, they shared a common bedroom. When the writer was going abroad, she went to the railway stations to see him off, but did not speak a word, only kissed his forehead. The writer cherished her as last physical contact. And in the evening, when the author returned, she collected all women from the neighborhood and beat the drum and sang for the warriors who were. This shows that there was a beautiful bond between grandmother, even when grandmother was alive, and grandmother, and when she died. So basically, the moral of the lesson is that this is basically the bond between grandmother and author that kept although grandmother was dead, but the bond was alive. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanishka.